And greetings, everybody. Keith here. Hoping everybody's having a good day, enjoying life, living life, loving life. Coming at you today with some more insanity shorts. If I can get this set up here. And wouldn't you know it, as soon as I start the stream, I start having problems with my mouse again. It's almost like there's a delay. So anyway, I want to remind everybody, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. There's a PayPal link down below for anybody that wants to share some love. All is appreciated. And of course, StreamYard link is down there for anybody that wants to join us. And we do have John with us again today. How you doing today, brother?
Alive and kicking, Keith. How you doing?
Good, good.
Yeah.
Trying to enjoy my day, but I'm going through a little bit of a nervous stress type thing because of everything that's amping up here lately. But I'm keeping it together and everything, of course. But I had a hard time getting some sleep, and that's why I ended up having to delay the videos yesterday. My apologies. But we're getting some progress.
Listen, brother, I want to thank you 1 million for standing up for America the other day. That was tough, but it was from the heart.
Yeah, and
from here.
Yeah, and I did the video going over the trespass after I actually did the trespass video because I wasn't prepared when the actual event happened. So it kind of, turned out really fucked up. So I had to come back and do a video so I could calmly explain everything and go over it. And Mitch, come on up, brother. Would appreciate you on panel. It's always great to see you, brother. Another one that's standing up for us and doing what he needs to let these servants know that they're our servants. This is a master and servant setup, and they think they're the masters, and they're not. And so we've got to really step it up. And that's one of the things that the first videos I'm going to bring up is about stepping up. David says, I am happy to have been able to come across your website and learning more and more every day for our family and friends and outsiders. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. And Mitch says, needs just a minute and he'll be glad to join. So go ahead and just click that link whenever you're ready, Mitch. We're here and always appreciative. And anything else before we get into it here, John?
Well, it's just important, Keith, not to have that ID on you, that photo ID, because that's a servant ID. You're telling them that you're a slave. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's the whole point of all my research is getting down to that personality, and that he is no respecter of persons. So why am I carrying a person with me, showing that, if I'm going to carry anything with me, why don't I carry a fucking Bible? Instead, I've been convinced to carry an ID.
That's all you need, Bible.
Yep. So appreciate your support, guys. So let's get into it. We've got our first short. I wanted to point out a relationship type thing and why it's so important to understand how relationships work and how a man is bound by his word just as much as a woman is bound by his word. And this is a unique story that I hope everybody will take a look at and see it for what it is. Let me fix my background and stuff here before we do. All right. And so let's pay attention to this. Again, it goes to how tightly we're supposed to be bound to each other. And instead, we find ourselves so divided. And I think this particular video will help show that when things go wrong, we can create remedies. We can create remedies and still remain bound to our word. And this is what I talk about with the contracts. If there are things that are inconsistent, you're supposed to go back and fix them. If you find out that you can't fix them, but there's another remedy where you can continue on, then you can do that. And it's only until you come upon the point where there's an impossibility that you put things down and start something different. So please pay attention.
Her husband after he got sudden brain damage, and it's left millions of people touched.
Now, why would it be that if you leave your husband after he gets brain damaged, that millions of people would be touched? Pay attention to how she left him, because she, in fact, didn't leave him.
Chris and Brandon were high school sweethearts, but 2 years after they married, he was in a car accident which put him in a coma. When he woke up, he had dramatically reduced mental and physical capacity, had a 10-second short-term memory, and was unable to care for himself. Brandon had no one else in his life, and Chris was the only person he always remembered and recognized after the accident. Chris cared for Brandon around the clock for years, but was ready to have kids she always dreamt of and move on with her life.
See, our inherent duty in having a relationship, male and female, is to have children. And this is part of the scripture where if a man can't have children, that woman is technically supposed to go to one of his brothers. It's technically, read the scriptures and find out. So this is a remedy that's provided in scripture that this woman is using in modern day. Though she didn't go to his brother, I don't think, she did find another man that could help bring children into the world. Now, the rest of the remedy, whether they bring those children into the world under his name or the other guy's name, I don't know. But that's up to them. But the primary sense here is that we have a purpose in life, and that is to keep bringing children into the world. Images and likeness of ourselves. So when we bind ourselves to another man or woman in a relationship like that, that's the bond. A man is bound by his words. And that word is not for selfish reasons or anything. It's for the word of God in his providing of grace so that we could go forth and be prosperous and abundant and multiply. Greetings, Mitch. How you doing today, brother?
Hey, good to see you, Wiz.
You too. I saw you out and about this morning. I didn't say much, but I saw you out there. I appreciate it.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate you.
So she filed for divorce. But she also pleaded with the judge to let her adopt Brandon and be his legal guardian. She had no plans to stop loving Brandon or stop caring for him, and was upfront about that during her dating.
And that's why we have to understand what these marriages are. We have to realize that marriage is a license under a commercial thing. And though she may not have understood that fully, I don't think, but she did understand that she had to divorce him in order to marry another man. And in divorcing him, she couldn't just leave him. So she had to find a remedy for not leaving him, but just changing the contract, and that was by adoption. Again, adoption is the remedy in everything we do. Adopt the city code. It's not what I follow, but I can adopt it to do the research to make sure that I'm abiding by it within reason so that I don't put the hackles up on other people's backs. And it's when people get the hackles raised, like I said, I set up a pattern of practice of going across that parking lot for a number of years. So there's no reason they have to be afraid. So when they come out and say that after all these years, now all of a sudden they're afraid, all they're doing is fear-mongering, and they have no basis for trespassing.
And when she met her new husband, James, he was fully on board. James was not only willing to accept Brandon in his life, but helps with the bathing, feeding, changing, and everything that goes into taking care of him.
It's not just loving her, it's loving Brandon too. You know, he needs us.
She left her husband after he got sudden brain damage, and it's like...
You understand that?
No, Keith, I don't. When we need permission to operate in our own country, I don't understand that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, what I'm talking about here is, do you understand how this man loves this other man because he loves the woman? This is part of the problem with our divorce and then trying to get with another woman or another man that already has children. We have to take on that extra baggage of loving those children too. A lot of people do not comprehend that. That's the most inherent thing that we're supposed to have in our heart is that love to owe no man anything but to love them. So if you really wanted to have a communion with a woman and you love that woman and you know she's got
Yeah, but
children,
Keith, that's tough sometimes for some people.
it is.
I mean, I understand we're supposed to love, but if it's, I don't know, if the situations are so tense. I mean, where's the father? How come there's no father? I mean,
Yeah, and I know exactly what you mean. I've been through the only marriage in my life, the only marriage in my life. She insisted that we be married. So it was after 8 years we got married, and all of a sudden 2 months later we got divorced. And it was hard because, you know, I had my own child, and it tore that whole semblance of companionship apart because now she couldn't be with them. She actually tried to keep my daughter from me. But again, that was the second time I got custody of my daughter. You know, so I I'm left at my wits' end in things like that.
right.
And that's why this hit
I
me so
understand,
hard.
brother. It was a tough situation.
Yep, it always is. And I urge people to really try to get into yourself and think about what you can bring as a remedy before you even get into a situation like this.
But you're breaking up. I can't hear you now.
I hear you loud and clear. It must be on your end.
Okay. Well, we're gonna continue on with the next one, which is the inherent thing about standing up for your rights, and it comes from our forefathers. So please pay
Are
attention.
you there?
Yeah, we're here. We're here, John. But evidently, you're having problems. Let me see here. I'm gonna leave him a note in the back chat. There we go. Hopefully, he'll see that. And actually, what I'm gonna do. Are you there, John? Can you hear me?
Can't hear you, Keith.
You can't hear me? Okay. Well, hold on just a second here. Show you what I'm going to do. Okay, let me drop this. Oh, good. He dropped. He dropped and I didn't. Okay. He'll be back, folks. He'll be back. Evidently, he realized it was himself. Okay, so the next one I've got.
The strength and powers of despotism consist wholly in the fear of resisting it. When people are scared, they submit, and once they do that, they tend to do it again and again. Samuel Adams made this point, saying when an act injurious to freedom has once been done and the people bear it, the repetition of it is more likely to meet with submission.
In other words, if you submit once, they're going to do it again to see if you're going to submit again. And the more you do it, the more they're going to do it. The more you submit, the more they're going to tempt you to submit some more. That's the way it works. That's called despotism. Despotism.
That's why the founders and old revolutionaries saw submission to unconstitutional acts as extremely dangerous to liberty.
And it still is to this day. When we continue to let these public officials get away with even the smallest infraction, like I said, long before that goon squad down in Rankin County, Mississippi, did that to those two men. They had gotten a pattern of practice because other people had submitted and submitted and submitted and submitted. This is going out, and it's getting more and more egregious after generation, and it's time to stop. We have to step up. Again, if you think this is horrendous to us, what do you think they're going to be doing to your children tomorrow? You there, John?
Yeah, I'm back on, Keith.
All right. Yeah, it was on your end. I couldn't figure out how to get it to you. I was getting ready to switch my screen page to a text message to tell you it was your disconnection issue. So anyway,
I just want to say this: if the kids themselves are confused, Keith, and they're hateful, it's hard for you to love them, but you want to love, you know.
Absolutely. The relationship I was talking about, when I first got with her, she had her 2 younger children, and I had my daughter. And her oldest daughter was living in Des Moines with her father. And then all of a sudden, she decided she wanted to move in with mom because she got pregnant, and dad wasn't going to let her live there anymore. Well, the problem was that I'm not stupid, and I knew she wasn't pregnant. And she had her mom going out buying all kinds of clothes and stuff for a child that wasn't coming. That caused a big issue. And it was because I was the one being truthful about it. Her mom got to the point where she really didn't like me too much until it came out that, yeah, she was lying. So it's very important to understand that, you know, I know even my child can do that stuff because she does. She learned from them to do the things that they do because I wasn't allowed to put my foot down. When I ground my daughter to her room, that's the way I was raised. When I tell her she's got to write sentences or give me a summary of this or that as a form of discipline, or I start taking her belongings away and grounding her to her room, I'm a disciplinarian, and that's out of range. They think I'm the bad guy. So as soon as I walk out that door, guess what? She's out of her room. She's enjoying life, just like that's destroying my authority. You can't do that. You have to put your foot down. It is a must. If you don't, your rights will be violated. And the first time you submit to them, they will see that your fear, and then you will be subjected to that fear to keep you submitting to all of their outrageous bullshit. Has to stop. And you're the only one that can stop it. Pay attention.
And as James Otis Jr. warned, there is nothing that will destroy liberty more than a prevailing opinion that it is better to tamely submit than nobly assert and vindicate our privileges. So if we truly want liberty, we have to overcome fear and exercise our rights, whether the government wants us to or not.
Absolute. Absolute. And again, we've got Mitchell up here. If you guys think I'm doing a good job, you should check out Mitchell. He's doing a great job out there himself. So get over and check him out. If you want to drop your link in the chat for me, I'll put it down the lower chat, Mitch.
Yeah, thanks, Wiz. Yeah, I stand on the shoulder of giants, so I mean, I appreciate you helping me find the way. But yeah, that's you're onto something for sure. And I had a thought. It kind of slipped me all of a sudden. Oh, you know, it's if they knew this hundreds, if not thousands of years ago, you know, that things are just going to continue to get worse. That's where I feel like we're at today, you know. But sorry, I'm just rambling and babbling. But the point I was trying to make is, yeah, it's about the future, man. It's about the kids, you know, the offspring, you know, the man, my words aren't flowing, but yeah, it's that's what I feel responsible to teach them. You know, it's not like it's an opportunity that I can benefit from or anything like that. It's a responsibility. It's an obligation that I have to, you know, show people that there's a better way, or it's just going to continue to get worse and worse. And that's what I feel like has happened, is it's just grown out of control because we failed to take responsibility and put our foot down and dig our heels in and say no. Or, you know, I'm not even say no, but just you know, stand your ground and assert yourself. You don't have to even say no. You just have to be able to assert yourself in an appropriate, honorable way. And yeah, that's where I feel like you're helping people get to. And yeah, so thanks for letting me ramble on.
You bet. I hope so. And the importance there, I think you're trying to express, is that You know, even if you do something in your own name and you have that ego, if you want that story to be told, you got to depend upon the next generations to tell it. So even in your ego, you have to depend on the next generation to profess your ego through and through. So in our giving a message of true love and owing no man anything, if we want that to go through, we've got to be able to express that upon the next generation there too. So we've got to protect the next generation in that. And even if you've got a wild ass ego and you're a tyrant, and you want the next generations to care, you got to be able to help protect the next generations that will bring that. So it's very important to understand the most imperative aspect of all life is our very reason of being here is to provide another generation by commingling with the opposite sex and doing so in gratitude and being able to be gracious of that which is provided us. So let's take a look at this next one. This is something we've got to be aware of with these new devices and technology. And the devious nature of people. And one of the things I want to point out about this case, I'll point out at the very end.
A pair of phone scams leads to a deadly shooting. Thanks for joining us at 7. I'm Ashley Kirkland.
And I'm Chris Jacobs. It all happened in Springfield, Ohio. That's near Dayton. And that's where an 81-year-old man faces a murder charge tonight after allegedly shooting an Uber driver in his driveway. Police say the shooter and the victim were both the target of the same scammer. Authorities say scammers called 81-year-old William Brock several times on the morning of March 25th, threatening Brock and his family. They demanded ransom for a family member and said they would kill him and his relative if he didn't pay.
So the man was in a state of fear, and he had justification for being in such fear.
Same day, Uber driver Lolitha Hall was told to pick up a package from Hall's address. Police say she got the call from the same scammers who were targeting Brock. Dashcam video from Hall's car shows her arrive to Brock's home to pick up that package. Brock walks out with a gun and points.
So this man has people calling and demanding a ransom, and then this lady shows up and asks for a package. She's looking for a package. So pay attention. This is a very devious little setup here, and this man is being charged with murder.
At Hall. Investigators say he took her phone and wouldn't let her leave. When she did try to go, police say Brock shot her 3 times. He called police, saying Hall tried to rob him. Hall was flown to the hospital, where she later died. While investigators were still at the scene, the scammers called again, claiming to be police. Uber releasing a statement tonight that reads, "There is no other way to describe this incident than a horrific tragedy. Our hearts continue to be with Lolitha's loved ones as they grieve her sudden loss."
No, there is another way to describe this rather than just a horrific tragedy. This is planned out with intent by a third party. This is murder by proxy. Murder by proxy. And like I said, they're charging this guy with murder. And listen to what they do about this Uber thing.
We have been in contact with law enforcement and remain committed to supporting their investigation. Uber also went on to say the account of the individual who ordered the Uber trip has been banned.
And that seems to be all they're interested in doing is banning it. No, I'd be handing that Uber account over and letting them continue to make calls and provide evidence, you dumb motherfuckers.
Well, as of right now, the caller has not been arrested. Brock is being held in the Clark County Jail facing a murder charge.
Facing a murder charge himself when they know he did, when they know that he was set up on it. That cannot be murder. He didn't know anything about it. He was in a state of mind that somebody put him in because of communications. This is why I urge everybody, understand what these devices are about and how they can be used. Pay very close attention, and don't let this kind of shit get you, because this is what'll get you. You have to be very slick when you use this stuff. I urge you, parents. I am so tired of seeing 5-year-olds out here with these devices. These are dangerous. They take a certain competent ability to use. It's not just some convenience. Let's get with it, folks. So the next one I got.
This cop was up to no good. He pulled these guys over for alleged speeding, but then started asking for IDs even from the passenger. Check this out.
Why are you pulling me over?
So put your car in drive.
It's in park.
Okay.
He himself is so nervous. Understand how these people, they operate in fear. Okay? And he went up and told the driver, who already had the car in park, and told him to put it in drive. You didn't catch that, Mitch? Put your car in drive. You ever had an officer tell you to put your car in drive?
Oh, wow. I glossed right over that. I didn't even recognize. Wow.
Yeah. So again, it's very important to pay attention to their language, their babblers, and how they react. They are in a mode of fear themselves. That's why they have all this shit. The armor. He's got a breastplate on. He's got a full plated breastplate on, with his taser right in the front. He's got a high beam light there. He's got his dash or his body cam there. He's got his mic there. He's got a couple clips right there. He's got his gun on his shoulder, or his thing over here. This guy is built to the hilt. The only thing he's missing is a canine.
Hey, you made it.
Hey, sorry I'm late. I was just grabbing a toy.
This cop was up to no good. He pulled these guys over for alleged speeding, but then started asking for IDs even from the passenger. Check this out.
Why are you pulling me over?
So put your car in drive.
It's in park.
Okay. Put it.
How can I help you?
You have.
No.
Yeah, you're not in control of him. Show me your drive.
You're not in control of him. Well, you're not in control of me, bitch. Who the fuck you think you are? You come up here imposing control and want to tell me that I'm not in control of him. You ain't in control of nobody, but bitch. See, this is a problem, folks. They operate as a public servant in a public trust. And if you don't understand how a public trust works, the beneficiary in equity, the beneficiary is deemed to be the true owner. So that means you own them. You own their contracts. You own their bonds already.
Driver's license.
And they don't know that, Keith. So they're operating in no man's land.
Yep.
They really are.
They think that, just like listening to their superior, that's law. Their superior doesn't know the law, and they will continue to profess themselves that they don't know the law. And when you get in a road sign, we're going to see this in other videos. You're going to see that, well, if you want to argue it, you can argue it in court. We'll see you in court. No, it's not a matter of arguing in court. See, you don't know the law, and you're going to sit here and tell me you don't know the law, and then you're going to impose the law. So that right there tells me you're incompetent already. So it shouldn't even make it to court. Not with me.
I need to show you my license.
And then they violate the blue sky laws, Keith. They're creating false securities.
Yep. Yeah, if you guys don't understand that, every state has a blue sky law. That's its own state securities laws. This is what allows them to use securities for acquisitions under 48 CFR 52.212-5 contract terms and conditions. They get you to sign the contracts that you're not supposed to be signing. And remember, in trust law, the beneficiary is not required to do anything. That includes sign. So why has everybody been taught to sign? Why do they teach you how to write your name at 5 years of age and sign it and put it with a name or put it with an address? Because they're training you to be a contract postal unit, a contractor, and nobody ever teaches you that. They don't teach you the civics about it, and they don't teach you the trust law that supersedes it. I think that's pretty important to know if you're going to be raising people as United States citizens, as United States businesses, and then expect them to conduct their affairs without knowing how to run a motherfucking business.
Why am I getting pulled over?
Provide your driver's license to me.
Passenger, provide your driver's license to me. The fuck you do? You pulled over a driver for a driving infraction, and we're going to see this again in other videos where they come up and want to ask the passenger. No, the passenger ain't got nothing to do with it. And the passenger in this kind of situation isn't even a passenger because he's not being paid, or the guy you're calling a driver isn't being paid by the guy that is being called a passenger. You have to prove that they have a contract to do such activity. Again, it isn't there. I was just giving him a ride. Oh, so you weren't driving him anywhere. You were just traveling along the way.
Put
You
it
don't
on the
need to.
window. I'm not talking to you.
You don't need
Passenger, roll your window down.
No.
Okay?
He does not need to.
I'm not talking to you.
He does not. Please call your supervisor right now.
He's here.
Where is he?
He's here.
Please identify yourself, your badge number.
He's here.
Where is he? Are you the same guy that showed up to my house?
Why don't you tell me?
You're on camera at my house, knocking on the door.
You tell me.
Identify. Are you Clay Michael Saunders?
I'm Detective
Saunders?
That's correct.
Okay. Do I need to call the sheriff's office right now? You're doing something illegal. I know what you are. You're a crooked police officer.
And this is what we have to do. We have to let them know that they're crooked police officers, and we have to let them know how we know they're crooked. We have to be able to make the plain. We have to be able to make the plain accusation. Greetings, brother. How you doing today, Russ?
Doing well. Is my audio messed up?
Well, we're getting it almost sounds like a background buzz, like a vacuum cleaner or something.
Actually, you know what? I was sitting over by the air conditioner. How's that?
There you go. Much better.
Good. You know, when you were talking about that business and not knowing how to run it, have you run across the term estate manager?
The what?
Estate manager. I was listening to some stuff on that Diddy, on P. Diddy, and they said something about that's on his estate manager. And then I went to look to see what all of that was about. Probably of some interest. It was seen that that might be what those county commissioners are also up to at that local level, because
You're breaking up,
Russ. The day-to-day operations, the in and outs.
Well, when it comes to the estate management, what they're talking about, that's that property issue. And again, that's a false term. Estate management is your own to do. You're the estate. Everything you say and do, everything you think is your estate. So when they talk about that in that legal definition of estate, they're talking about physical property. So the estate manager of the city would be the city manager. See what I'm saying? It would be the manager of the estate. So if you've got a estate manager at the courthouse, he is managing the estate of the courthouse. If you've got a city manager, he's the manager of the city, and that means he's managing the estate of the city. Hope that makes sense.
Well, this was just families, I believe.
Yeah, and that's somebody that you would hire as a family to manage the estate. That's all it is.
Yeah, and to my kind of loose understanding, it's actually a minor estate, right? So you're supposed to be able to manage that when you become of the age of majority.
Right, and that's the way the state is acting. But what he's talking about here is in Diddy's case, he's not a minor, and he knows he's got an estate, so he hired somebody to manage the estate part of it for him, while he just does the music.
Huh. All right.
And then and that's there's not an issue doing that.
It's just like hiring a trustee, basically.
Correct. And
Okay.
so all you have to do is, if you're going to hire somebody, make sure they are trustworthy.
Right. Okay.
So let's take a look at this one. Karen gets karma in this one.
Eye drops, but she gets instant karma at the end.
What's the serial number on it?
Like I f***ing know.
Promise is yours?
It is mine. It came out of my pockets.
But
It is mine. They're talking about $100 bill. Right? Check this out. Bitch is stupid, making false claims and easily provable.
I found it.
No, you're gonna give it to me. It's my 100.
Think you promise?
It's mine. Thank you.
It's fake, ma'am.
You ever seen movie set money? It looks like the real thing until you look close and it says for the movie set or something like that on it. And she's gonna stick to it. She's gonna double down on it. That's the fucking insane part, Mitch. She's gonna double down on this, guys.
It is
This is for
insane.
motion picture use only. How come you carry fake money around?
With us.
See what happens? You're dishonest. You don't even know what to say. You're speechless.
Here's the fun part.
What's up?
I wasn't dishonest.
Yes, you were. It's not
No,
yours.
No. Here's the fun part.
Okay, go ahead.
Ew.
That's all she's got. She doubles down and says, no, I wasn't dishonest. You know the fun part? Ew. Yeah. Ew. I am so tired of dealing with these kind of insane motherfuckers that even when you get caught, they will double down on it.
You're kind of
That's
ugly.
a.
Yeah. and
Wait,
you're
I'm the ugly one.
Yeah.
Look in the camera.
Damn.
Damn!
Ouch.
She doubled down on it and then found out she was on camera. See, and that's why it's important to start doing this stuff, people. See, it's not just the public officials. It's everyday people. See, in Mitch's case, it wasn't a public official. It was one of the everyday people that started it out of her fear because she didn't want to stand up to her responsibility and culpability of her own actions. And that's why we have to do that. We have to start filling not just these public offices with decent people. We have to start filling the communities with decent people. Because if our communities are full of these kind of people, what fuck makes you think that the public officials are going to be any better if the whole community is filled with those people?
Yeah, and it seems almost like a codependent relationship. You know, they're feeding off of each other because the cops were enabling her and she was basically enabling the cops to interact with me. So it was, and all I was doing was trying to mind my own business, and you know, I wasn't bothering anybody, and they turned into a whole lot of drama for no reason. You know, they could have focused that energy if they would have focused that on actual victims. You know, maybe they could have made a difference in this world.
Yep, and that's what we're talking about here too. It's the same situation, Mitch. I had no business of theirs, and I wasn't in their business at all. Got a pattern of practice of going back and forth, just like you had a pattern of practice with all foods or whatever, and not bothering anybody, and then somebody else causes an issue, and now you're the problem. It's bullshit, so I completely understand.
Yeah, cops are trying to use me as the scapegoat. They, you know, I don't know if you probably caught bits and pieces of it, but last night they were calling.
Don't touch me. I just like to know who I'm speaking.
The cop said I was what's wrong with society, and it just
I
blew
saw
my
that.
mind.
Yeah, he said you're the problem, and then walked back to his car.
Yeah, he said it walking away like a little
Yeah.
bitch. That's what pissed me off.
Yeah, that's what he said. Come say it again. Come talk to me. Tell me in my face again.
He said, "Get out of your car," and I did. And
yeah, and he turned around and walked away and said, "You're the problem."
Right.
It's just fucking pathetic. So let's take a look at this one. This is a public citizen or public servant.
Take that away. Don't touch me. I just like to know who I'm speaking with.
Well, I'd like to know who I'm speaking with. So if you could just tell me.
Well, you're the public servant, right?
Okay, let's go down and talk to security officer.
It is a state office building, but this is a federal program that's run through.
Great. If it's a federal program, guess what? I'm an American citizen. It's a federal program, and I'm an American citizen. A special class of protected peoples with an internationally protected person. So let's talk federal some more.
The state, so I can't let you on the inside this week.
Hi, who are you, sir?
Who are you? I asked you who you are.
I have no idea who you are, sir.
Because I didn't tell you because I asked you a question first and you did not answer. So why are you here?
No, that doesn't dismiss you from your official duty of identifying. Just because you think you get to ask a question first, and if they don't answer that question, then you don't have to identify. No, that's not the way the code is written. The code is written that if a citizen asks you for your identification, you're supposed to give your motherfucking identification, you fucking bitch ass slave.
Call the police. Do what you need to do. Yeah, because this man needs to get charged for assault. You came up to me. You came up to me and immediately assaulted me. Why?
Can I see your ID, please?
And now they want to see his ID. See how that works? No. See, these motherfuckers got it all backwards.
Sure. As soon as you, I'll give you my ID. As soon as you are about to, when you tell me that you're going to effect arrest on a person who assaulted me.
I don't even know.
I know, but maybe we should figure out who he is first, and then we can move.
See, they're supposed to come investigate the crime. And instead of investigating the crime, they're coming investigating the victim and trying to make him the criminal. They work together, just like Mitch said. It's a symbiotic relationship. They depend upon each other.
Move on there.
Please take that away.
Fucking ridiculous. This is getting sickening. See, we lost another one. Need that link again, 5-speed? Let me drop it down for you. Yes, I'll agree with that. The system is based on the use of textbook narcissistic abuse techniques. The cluster Bs have put their mental illness into a training manual. Absolutely. I did a video not too long ago on the Office of Inspector General of HUD. And this cocksucker put up there that a sovereign citizen is known because he uses scripture. Absolutely. He refers to the Constitution, U.S. Code, UCC, and Scripture. That's a sovereign citizen according to the Office of Inspector General of HUD. It's pathetic. That's insane.
That exhaust pipe is not stock.
It's not modified, I promise.
It's modified.
You looked under it. It's not a muffler?
Yeah, I did.
I know.
Then it's not a muffler.
That's a muffler.
It's not a muffler.
What? Can I show you?
You can show me in court if you want.
See, you can show me in court. We're not going to argue about it here. I'm right. You're wrong. I'm going to write the citation. And if you want to argue about it, you can argue about it in court. See, they're literally pulling up, like John said, the Blue Sky Securities. They're issuing false securities. That citation does not have an OMB number on it, and therefore it is not a security except at the state level. And what happens is they take your name and everything on that citation that doesn't have an OMB number, and that citation is an investment. So on the other side of the counter, now it becomes a security for them. They pool them all up because it's just a $300 ticket. Well, that's not enough to invest in a security. We need more. So they get this large pool. Now there's so many in the pool that they can't name it as those names. So they change it to their name, and now they can securitize it in their name as a pooled investment.
Is that why we're drowning in debt, Keith?
Absolutely.
Because because the municipal codes of today were like the black codes of the 1860s and 70s, Keith.
Yeah.
The same thing.
Yep. Absolutely. There's a thing in the 1500s, they called it the 5 Mile Act. And what it is if they can't get the people in the community to conform to the community, then they kick them out. The problem is that the community is known as a corporate entity. And so what they're saying is that they can't get the people to conform to corporate administration and corporate ID, then they can't live in the community. And that's what I urge everybody to realize. I don't want to live in I don't want to live in a community where I have to be a corporate person that gets no respect from God, because that's what these people act like. Like I said, this is Waterloo Christian Schools, and you would think they would know an image and likeness of God and know that they can't buy the land because it's his, but instead they profess that I can't walk across a parking lot because they don't recognize me in image and likeness after many years, and all of a sudden now they have some kind of fear. And their projection of fear is that I might molest or abuse one of those children.
Oh my God.
One of the most egregious accusations there is. So don't think I'm sitting here just crying like some baby. They're trying to make it look out that I'm a possible pedophile, and fuck you.
Wow. That is egregious. That's shit. That type of shit you just can't let slide. I can't. I mean,
fuck no, I'm not going to submit. Not one bit, not 1 inch. Fuck you.
I don't mean to digress, but I have direct experience with what you're speaking of. I was just recently trespassed from a food bank that I had gone to for several years. They all knew me very well, and all because I couldn't prove residency. And I kept going back, and I eventually showed them an address because I signed up for phone service and some prepaid phone service just to show an address, but then they called the cops on me.
Ask that food bank, how do you pose the premise that you're supporting the homeless when you require them to have a fucking address? Is that inconsistent? Is that insane? Yeah. Oh, we can't help the homeless, or we're feeding the homeless. We're feeding the homeless. But hey, if you're homeless and you come in, we got to have a resident ID for you.
Yep.
You see the insanity? It's just fucking stupid.
There's one more aspect of that that's important, I think, of note, that it's an NGO, a non-governmental organization, all-inclusive, that is renting out city property. So they trespass me from city property.
Yeah, and the city is the principal, and you're the obligee. They have an obligation to you already. So let's finish up with this one.
You can show me in court. So go ahead and sign here. It's promise to appear in court, not in the mission.
It's just messed up, bro. I wasn't doing nothing.
Promise to appear in court. I can't do that. I understand those to be corporate courts. I'm not entering in a contract with you. You have to make sure that you can convict me of a crime. And let me tell you, you can check with the Department of Justice. Traffic violations are not arrestable offenses. Therefore, when you give me that citation that you call a summons and want me to promise to appear, that is not a waiver of personal jurisdiction. It is not a proper summons, and with a separate waiver of jurisdiction. They are two separate things. You have to have a summons, and they're using that citation as a summons, and the promise to appear as a waiver of personal jurisdiction. No, 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 no.
There's cars over there doing stupid shit. I'm just cruising. I wasn't doing anything stupid.
Why are you doing that?
What do you mean?
Why are you doing that?
Doing what?
What do you mean?
What?
Doing that, right? Just
no, I'm just showing you that it's stock.
But I'm telling you, it's not.
It is. You seem like muffler.
It's stock. And the officer's going to say, no, it's not. You better call the manufacturer, because you don't work for the manufacturer. If he bought it stock, then it's stock.
When they cut off and it's just two pipes.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I know. I had a BMW a long time ago and I had like two pipes like that. That's a muffler delete, but this is a muffler delete.
It's a different form of a muffler delete.
It's not. I promise, it's not a muffler delete. That gold thingy is a big muffler. I promise. It goes from the exhaust into the muffler and then the tips.
Mm-hmm. You can show me in court. Yeah.
So what's the exhaust figure?
He's trying to say it doesn't have a muffler on it, that it's been modified and it's not stock. Well, you'll have to argue it with me in court. So what he does is he makes a contract for an argument. And he's the dumb one. I'm not going to court. I'm going straight to the surety company. The next one.
I'm a journalist.
Okay, so you have your journalist papers? Because you do need that. If you're telling me you're a journalist, you actually have to provide that.
Really?
Yes, you do.
That
you
is
Really? I thought a man was bound by his words. Isn't that journal enough?
Yeah, they use journals, Keith, but general journals.
Yeah. And how about a journal of a witness?
I mean, did you see him? He actually believed that shit. He believes what he believes that.
Yeah. Because he's incompetent of the language. That's the whole problem. See, guys, 8 years ago when I was at that last trial of mine, and that judge looked at me and he says, "Do you understand English?" Now, being the kid that walked around with dictionaries, multiple plurals, dictionaries in my backpack, I took that as an offense, and I answered him belligerently, "Yes." I comprehend much better today that it's not a language to understand, but to comprehend. And that's the problem. These guys don't comprehend it either.
That's
Yes, if you're saying you're a journalist, then you're an actual journalist.
Yeah, officer, I don't have to
So-
prove to you anything about me being a journalist.
Well, you can't just come in.
And this is, yes, I can.
No.
This is federal law right there. And like I said, if you want to understand, you don't need any kinds of credentials, if that's what you're referring to be a journalist. I'm an independent journalist.
So you should have
Gathering
something that
content.
states that.
No, I shouldn't. I don't need to. No, I don't. You're sadly mistaken. You need to stop being stubborn, open your mind, and listen
Other
to what I'm trying to
photographs
tell
may
you.
be taken only with the permission of local
Other
postmaster.
photographs, keyword, other keywords, other photographs. This is not
So
doesn't
this
fall
is-
under
this
that.
is- This is going to be determined above here. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day,
Great.
you're going to need to walk out though.
I'm a journalist.
Okay.
So that's the last one I've got for today, but I am going to be coming back with a excuse me, video later on who must be bonded, principal agent relationship, liability of principal. And I'm also going to be doing prohibition on using journalists as agents or assets, policy regarding obtaining information from or records of members of the news media, and regarding questioning, arresting, or charging members of the news media. And then the third one we'll look at there is the release of information to news and information media. So I'll be back later with videos on those, one at 6 and one at 9. So that brings us to the end of our shorts for today. You guys got anything to say on the way out?
Oh, good to go, Keith.
Yeah. I like the format. It's interesting. It brings forth a lot of good conversation.
Yeah, I like doing these shorts because they're like I said, they're shorts, and a lot of times we can cover a lot of different subjects. In the past, if you go back some of my other shorts, it covered all kinds of things, not just police. Today, I happen to have a lot of things that were just police, but that's kind of unusual. I think it's because the algorithm is picking up that I'm more interested in these kind of interactions, so it's sending more of these for my shorts. So.
All right, you say you're back at what, 6 and then 9?
Yep.
I'll be around. I'll end as I always do. Be the change we wish to see, folks. Much love, everybody. Mitch, good to see you again, buddy.
Yeah, thanks,
See you
man.
later,
You too.
Yep, absolute. And real quick here, Bonehead says the reason why Uber only banned the account and nothing more was because it was tied to a burner number. It was a fake account. Doesn't matter. If they're using the phone, they can track it. So even if it's a burner phone, they have tracking abilities. And so they should keep that thing on and not let them think anything's up so they can track them. Because now they can use that, they can track the number, and not only can they track the number, but they can track other services that they're using, whether it be Uber or Lyft or some other car service, or say they're using Uber to have food delivered. You can get a fucking address. You have to understand how important these things are, and it doesn't matter if it was a burner number out of Canada or not. Right, exactly. If they're going to allow if they just allow them to keep using it. I'm telling you, these criminals are stupid enough, they will do so. They will keep using it. They'll use it for something stupid like ordering food through Uber to deliver to them. So it's very important to understand, and this is why I've done my research. I'm not the stupid one. Okay? So anyway.
Yeah, and they can trace where, you know, what towers it's pinging off of. If, you know, if they continue to allow it to be used, it just would provide a lot of evidence to be able to finally pinpoint, you know.
Yep, and they have a stinger net where they can up to 2 miles. They can gather information from all the phones. So if they want to sting your phone, they can pinpoint your phone and gather all the information off it as long as they hold that stinger net open.
Wow.
If you're there for 8 hours a day and you're running all these streams and talking to people and texting there, they're going to get all that information just because you're in range. Yes, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do.
Yeah, cool, man. Thanks for having me up. I look forward to seeing you later on.
You bet. You bet. Thanks, Mitch.
All right, peace.
Yep. You got anything, John?
No, good to go, Keith.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, you guys know me. I love you, but I don't give a rat's ass whether you love me back. And that's to say, I don't care if you hate me. I don't care if you don't respect me. And that's on you. So may God bless you and have a good night. Bye now.